Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to today's very late edition of the Chiller 7. I probably should have just gone ahead and skipped the podcast today because I just got home. I was out all day. I rolled out of bed, immediately left the house, immediately started working, and it's like I get back and I immediately start working again. I immediately start working the podcast. This isn't gonna work, honestly. Like this is kind of my mindset. Whenever I work a job and I do things, it's like I can't possibly work 8 hours a day with no breaks, come back and immediately do the podcast, immediately do the videos for the day, immediately start getting caught up on everything that happened when I was away. I'm done. Okay. Like that's kind of my mindset at this stage is that like I'm done with this. Like it's just not really doable. Like I want to just focus on what I actually want to do, which is making money online, being successful, writing my book, make clowning on people like Nintendine, clowning on Kiwi farms. Like there's a lot of things that like I'd want to do, but nope, can't do it. Don't have time. Unbelievable. So yeah, we're gonna have to like figure this out. We're gonna need like some serious donations. We're gonna need some serious support if we're gonna get out of this slump. If we're gonna get to the point where I am 100% financially secure and don't need to waste my time ever again. It's just I don't have fans. Yeah, I don't have fans. Yeah, I don't want fans. I don't have fans. I don't want to know you. Yeah. So yeah, this is actually something we do need to talk about because I have noticed this among a lot of people who watch the videos and support them and stuff like that. Like, I'm not your friend, okay? Like, subscribing to my channel does not make me your friend. Like, you can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me to to take things back or try to control me. Like, no, you're not my buddy. Like, go away. I don't want to hear it. And this is something I've been I haven't been very upfront about it because I don't know, it's just one of those things where it's kind of mean and you kind of have to you kind of have to set boundaries, honestly. Because that's what happened when I came out and was open about the pragmata thing because everybody else was doing this thing where oh, this game is it's the flavor of the month game, so I have to shill it, I have to promote it, I have to make fun of people saying certain things about it. And then I came out with my own honest opinion about how this was clearly a pedophile coded thing, and immediately people tried to come after me for it, and I can't tolerate that. Okay. Like, that's not acceptable. Like, you can't tell me to do something like that. It's just, it's immoral for one thing. But, second of all, I don't have an obligation to do something just because you told me to do it. Okay. Like, I'm not going to apologize for my perfectly reasonable, objectively correct take. Okay. Pragmata sucks. The only people defending it are fucking pedos. It is bottom of the barrel slop. And people don't want to admit it because they want to keep pretending that Capcom is some great company. I saw Max Dude today. He's making YouTube videos what dormant Capcom IPs are they going to big back? There isn't a single relevant stagnant Capcom IP. Okay, Mega Man is not a big deal. Darkstalker is not a big deal. Dino Crisis is not a big deal. What are they possibly going to bring back? Okay, there isn't a single thing that Capcom could bring back that's going to be bigger than Star Fox. Okay? Capcom at this stage is just the Street Fighter company. That's it. They don't have anything else other than that. Oh, well, and Resident Evil. Yeah. So Resident Evil and Street Fighter, that's it. Outside of that, Capcom doesn't have shit. And yet we're supposed to believe that they're going to have some glorious return to form and some golden age some golden age return of Capcom, and it's gonna be like it was in the 90s. The 90s, in which Capcom was kneeling to Nintendo and was regularly putting out games on NES and Super Nintendo. Okay, Capcom did not start falling off until the PlayStation, and that is something that these people will not acknowledge. Okay, Capcom did not become shit until the PlayStation was introduced. And good luck getting the masses to like acknowledge that. Like, good fucking luck. It's just yeah, so like that's kind of the issue I've been having, honestly, when it comes to like the direction I want to take the channel is that like I have way too many people who are like snaking on me constantly and think they can like control what I say and do, and they think they can like message me privately and start like making demands of me like we're your fans, like you have to do this, like for us you have to defend Pragmata. Like no, I don't. I don't. Like, I wish I'd never bought that piece of shit. Okay, I regret buying Pragmata. It is the biggest L of this year for me is that I bought Pragmata. Like, Pragmata is like one of the worst things I've ever played in my life. Like, Pragmata is like everything wrong with video games. And the industry is glazing that game instead of acknowledging like the far superior Tamagotchi Life, the far superior Pokemon Pokopia, the far superior Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Like there's no reason really to like glaze Pragmata when there are so many other better Nintendo games that come out. But the issue is the masses will not acknowledge the superiority of Nintendo first party titles. Like people like RGT85 are like seriously trying to like make fun of people who are like more excited for Yoshi than Forza Horizon 5. Okay, I'm sorry. I think we're on 6 now. I don't know, same difference. They're the same game. Like we have these people like glazing Forza Horizon, trying to get Xbox back in vogue, which coincidentally comes about like the exact same time they like changed their like brand name. It seemed to be a push. They lowered the Game Pass prices. They're like, they're trying to do a PR thing. Don't buy into it. Like, don't support Xbox. Like, you're gonna see all these people bend over backwards for like Xbox to try and keep this brand irrelevant. Keep this brand relevant when like in reality it needs to just die. It needs to just go away. Like when I got my PC back and I started like reinstalling everything, they tried. They tried like getting me to sub for like Game Pass. Yeah, they like I booted up my PC and they're like, "Do you want to sign up for PC Game Pass?" And then they have this like whole lineup of games that I'm never gonna play. Like they are fighting hard to push like Game Pass on like PC gamers. And you know what I did? You know what I did? I just X'd out of that shit. Okay, they kept trying to like push it. They keep trying to make me subscribe, and they can't even do it. Like I legit, booted up a brand new PC, started saw that shit and was like, no thank you, and I'm the target audience. Like imagine what like normies are going to do when they see that. Oops, X. Like making fun of Game Pass should be a meme. It absolutely should. It's way too expensive. You're better off like actually buying games. Like what benefit do you have playing Game Pass, really? Like Game Pass is complete shit. You can play some riveting titles like yeah, fucking mixtape. Okay, fucking mixtape. By the way, I love like how transparent that game is about being some like billionaire like trust fund baby's like pet project. It's like, did you hear about how they paid for like the music licensing like in perpetuity? Which I think it costs like tens of $1 million. Like for the record, like even Rockstar doesn't do that. So like, so for the record, like even Rockstar like had to like patch out like all the music out of like Grand Theft Auto 4 like a couple of years back because like the music licensing ran out. Like this is the reality of where we're at. Like this is the reality of like the gaming industry now is that the industry is rallying behind absolute bullshit projects like Mixtape, like Expedition 33, like Astrobot, like Baldur's Gate 3, while like downplaying absolute Nintendo. You know what I saw today? Like I saw some dipshit try and argue that like Baldur's Gate 1 the original 1998 like Baldur's Gate. That game, I saw someone try to argue that game was bigger and better than Ocarina of Time. He tried to do this thing where he's like, "Oh, I don't see why Ocarina of Time was so interesting and special," and I'm just like, "Wow, so you haven't played it then?" You know, it's just like it's just one of those things. Like these guys aren't gonna rewrite history, no matter how hard they try. You know, there's a reason Baldur's Gate doesn't come up in like greatest game of all time discussions. Okay, it's just like it doesn't work at its core. Like anybody who knows anything about video games understands how innovative Ocarina of Time was, like all throughout like the 2000s. Like you could see it's like blueprints everywhere. Like even like from the FromSoft formula, the general combat system was basically just like an adaptation of like Ocarina of Times. Like but yeah, we are seeing people desperately trying to downplay every Nintendo game coming out. You're seeing people accusing Star Fox of just being a remake. You're seeing people like spurging out about Splatoon Raiders. You're seeing people like freak out about like Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Like I've seen people throw around like this is for fetuses, because like baby game doesn't really like it doesn't really work anymore. Like people have just tried going like more extreme with it. Like and nobody really cares. Like I would be it'll be really interesting if Yoshi and the Mysterious Book actually outperforms Crafted World. I'm not sure if it will, honestly. Like, we're gonna have to see. It's a Switch 2 exclusive, so it might not manage, but like, yeah, if it could sell about as much as like Donkey Kong Bonanza, that would be a huge hit. Honestly, if it could sell like 3 or 4 million units, like that would be great. But like, yeah, we're gonna have to see about that. I'm not sure like how well that game's going to do, considering we're still so early on in the console lifespan. But like again, this is the thing that people don't understand is that like a lot of these games that are coming out like early on in the Switch 2 lifespan are going to be like evergreen titles, and I think that's how they're being set up. So I think Mysterious Book might not like sell a million, like might not outsell Crafted World immediately, but then it might like slowly get up there over time. So we'll have to see about that. We we will have to see about that. I am just like I'm just very curious to see like how the next Nintendo Direct is going to be damage controlled. Because like the dudes are just like they're just bending over backwards to like spurg the fuck out over like anything that happens. Like I saw Nintendine today. I actually made a video about this. Like he was talking about Twilight Princess and how supposedly like the new PC port is gonna be like the definitive version of it, and how like Nintendo will never ever be able to like put out their own copy. It was like it was just such a dumb like argument, as if like Nintendo hasn't sold Twilight Princess for like 20 years, as if they don't still own the IP. Like it's just like they own the rights to the game. It's like, yeah, they're the ones making money on this project. It just it doesn't make any sense. Without Nintendo, that game doesn't exist. So like when you take that into consideration, like the entire argument falls apart. And it just doesn't make any sense. Like it just doesn't make any sense. I have like another Nintendine today video to put out today. I think that's what I'm gonna do after I'm done with the podcast. Is just like I think I'm gonna sit in like probably probably like make dinner and then just edit for a bit and get that out tonight. And then we can start doing them daily going forward as soon as he uploads them. Like, I'd like to get to the point where like Nintendine uploads a video and I instantly have it like recorded and I'm instantly on it, like instantly getting it out there to refute it. Like, I'd like to be able to do that, but I don't know if it's gonna be possible because I'm just like strapped for time. Like it's crazy like how busy I am, like near constantly. Like I was working when I woke up. I was doing social media. I had to go out and I had to work a job and then I had to come back and then I had to fire up this podcast and then I'm gonna have to edit and then I'm gonna have to write the book and then I'm gonna have to like spend the rest of my life doing this bullshit. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. People had a decade to hang on. Why does it not show the entire chat? It's stupid. Switch 2 era handheld, and will sell like every Nintendo handheld, but it's no use. Yeah. A wild card re-release. Yeah, I would. again, like this is something people don't understand is that like they can start remaking like some really weird shit. Like Another Code R came out of nowhere, and I know that like I don't really care about Another Code. Again, whenever it comes up, I'm just like, oh yeah, I had a huge crush on Ashley when I was a kid. She was adorable. Like that's really the that really that really sums up my experience with the game is that like the protagonist was hot back in the day. I never played it growing up, so like I don't know, man. I would really 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 like to see them like do more stuff like that. And I think it's not like outside the realm of possibility. We could like see, you know, Excite Truck come back. We could see a lot of Wii era stuff, I think. Like it'll be really interesting to see what they do. I mean, like I think now they're doing a lot of N64 stuff actually, and that makes a lot of sense considering how like dated that stuff is now. Like people keep talking about an Ocarina of Time remake, and I don't know. Like we're having discussions online today about like how Ocarina has just kind of like aged and how it's not really like the cutting edge thing it used to be. So like now might be a good time to remake it. I don't know. Like I would have liked to like wait for the 30-year anniversary of the game, but like I don't know, maybe we'll get it then. I don't know. It's just like- yeah, after seeing Star Fox, I just don't like I don't know. I definitely have a problem with like remake culture in general because I don't really see the point in like remaking like re-releasing this stuff. I suppose the issue is that for like a lot of younger players, they just don't want to play older games like at all. They'll never consider it. Like, and that's just not something I relate to because I've always loved older games, but now I suppose I do kind of feel like I've fallen off of it recently. I have been like spending less and less time playing games lately. I mean, I was like streaming like 8 hours a night pretty regularly until recently, and like I don't know. It's just one of those things where I just feel as if I've kind of played everything I want to play. Like, there's plenty of stuff I want to get through. Like, I want to get through all the Tales games. I want to get through like, Trails and like Yeast and stuff like that. But like, these are all like super long niche RPGs, and I've just been like really struggling getting through them all. Like, Tales alone has like, you know, they're just brutal. Like I'm 30 hours into like Tales of Berseria now, and I love it, but it's like I just can't bring myself to like play through it right now when like I have so much going on. It's just like I do think at this point in my life I do need to kind of like play less video games because I'm genuinely not like really enjoying that many of them. And like I have massively scaled back my purchases, and I've massively scaled back my time playing them, and I've massively scaled back like you know discussing them online. I've been reading more audiobooks, I've been doing more things, but it's just like I don't know. I feel as if what I'm doing is like the right thing, Like I feel like endlessly playing video games and endlessly like anticipating the next release. That's not really what I want to do, and that never really has been. But like, when you look at like the community as a whole, like they're constantly spurging out about the directs. They're constantly spurging out about what's next. They're constantly talking about leaks, and it's like, do you guys not do anything else really? It's like I'm doing stuff all the time. I got like, I'm like reading more. I want to do more with like you know, book reviews and like anime like coverage. Like, I want to do a whole lot more. And it's just like I just don't understand why everybody's so hung up on like the Switch 2's release schedule. It's like, hey genius, it's spring. Like go outside. Like shit. Like I don't get it. Like why are we still doing this thing where we're like freaking out about what Nintendo's doing? It doesn't make any sense to me, and I have more and more contempt for it every year. I guess I become kind of a boomer, but yeah, it's like what's the point of like getting hyped for a direct and then getting upset over like some like niche RPG getting announced? Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like you've seen a lot of people do this lately, where they do this thing where like, oh man, they close out a direct with Fire Emblem. How could they do this? Fire Emblem is a niche franchise that I'm sick of seeing, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, who cares? Like, it's very popular. It gets a lot of people hyped. Like it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like at its core, it feels like you're just looking for reasons to bitch. Like at its core, I've just gotten really frustrated with it. Like there've been a lot of Nintendo Directs that like I haven't liked recently because I think I straight up skipped like the indie presentation, and like I don't think I watched like the Galaxy movie one. It's like, oh, like it's like they're not good. So like why even like show up to them? I don't know, man. I just don't like the idea of being like these people who just like endlessly, endlessly just like complain about like the stupidest shit. Like RGT 85, like, oh man, I'm gonna cover what Kit and Krista said today. Like Kit and Krista needs to be banned. Like I don't want to hear about Kit and Krista ever. Like if you talk about them in any way, shape, or form, like you've lost all credibility. Like Kit and Krista are clickbaiting retards. And I hope that like Nintendo of America actually like makes people sign NDAs now, because like what they've done in like shifting from like a Nintendo owned show to like their own shitty like uh, knockoff product, it just really goes to show you just how there's this weird culture surrounding like damage controlling Nintendo. Like it's just weird. It's just weird to see like the masses like pretend that Kit and Krista were ever relevant or popular. Like I remember when they were like actively doing Nintendo Minute, and it just felt like it was just sad, honestly, because it was all very fake and performative, and it was just like they were really having trouble like making it work, and I think it says a lot about how like Nintendo like scrubbed the show after they left or were fired or whatever, and how they didn't really have a replacement. Like it wasn't a successful show. Like the only reason people were watching it is that like sometimes they would give us like some behind the scene look at the game or something. Uh, as a whole though, like they just weren't that like competitive compared to like what everyone else was doing. Because like what everyone else was doing at the time is that they would pay like major streamers to like just play the games for them, and like Nintendo apparently just didn't do that. Like they wanted like their own in-house employees to do it, and like they their own in-house employees don't play a lot of games, and they don't know about a lot about them, and so they'll make very basic mistakes like pretending Star Fox Zero is like a remake of 64. Like they've been doing that for years, is that they insist it's a remake when it's not. Like it's obviously not. That's actually the first thing Kit did like after leaving Nintendo, is that he's like, Star Fox Zero, I I hated the controls. I hated that game. It was just it was just another remake, and I'm just like, holy fucking what a fucking retard. I'll never get over that. I remember when he tried to say like they were talking about like directions they would want to see future Nintendo games go in, and he tried to say that like Star Fox needed to like reinvent itself. It's just like, yeah, this is like it's just stupid. Like I never want to hear people talking about Star Fox like reinventing itself like ever, because like it was the most reinvented Nintendo franchise ever in the 2000s. Like we went from Adventures, Assault to Command. That's like there has been no string of like experimental Nintendo game releases like that like ever. It was just like it's crazy if you think about it. Like how short of a time those games came out. Like I think like Assault and like Command came out within like a year of each other. Like I'm kind of surprised that like it feels like there was a way bigger gap between them than there actually was. But like yeah, I remember playing like Star Fox Assault when it came out and being disappointed by it. Yeah, that's actually something I really want to know. Like, is Assault better than Command? Because like I haven't gone back to play Command at all in 20 years. I've always played a lot of Assault. But like Assault, like I hated from the get-go. And like Command is one of those games that like I feel like I might have started hating it by due to peer pressure because I haven't played it since like 2006, 2008, something like that. It used to be like my go-to like DS game. Like I played a lot of Command back in the day, and it's kind of weird how like little I remember about it. Because I got into a conversation on Twitter today because like someone was playing it and he fought Andrew, and I was like shocked by that because I'm just like I don't remember Andrew being in the game. I actually think I said this on stream is that like I don't remember Andrew being in the game because like my recollection of events is that he dies in the beginning of Assault and like that's why he's not in Command. Like I thought they replaced him with like Dash in Command, but no. Like Dash is like the most underrated Star Fox character ever, by the way. Fucking love Dash. But like Star Fox Command, like I really wonder if like people haven't really like gone back to it in the past 20 years because like I was thinking about this today while I was at work. Like I there are so many routes and so many things that happen that in those routes the game is very lore focused and is very like character driven. There's so many different things that can happen that like I feel like a lot of the really goofy shit is like kind of like forgotten because like we all know about the Fox and Crystal thing and about how dumb the breakup was and how melodramatic like the soap opera nature of it is. Like we all know that, but like I was thinking about like nobody fucking talks about Dash and how he's like this character that's likable, and then in his ending he becomes evil and like takes over Venom and becomes exactly like his grandfather Andros. I was just kind of like, you don't see a lot of people talk about that. Like Star Fox Command is really interesting because I think lore wise, it's actually the most important Star Fox because it gives a lot of characters like a lot more like things to do. You get to play as like every name pilot. You have like I think a dozen characters. Cat's in it. I believe Bill's in it. I barely remember Bill. And does Bill do anything in Command? Like you got like advancement. Peppy had a wife and daughter that we've never seen before. The mom's dead at this point, but the daughter's still alive and is playable. Like you get like you get the sense that they really put a lot of effort into like tying it in with a lot of like pre-existing Star Fox media. I believe one of the endings is like Farewell Falco, which I think is a callback to the comic in which explains why he's not there at the beginning of Adventures, right? By the way, that's another thing. Like the whole like Falco not being there in Adventures and then swooping in at the end. Like that's so ridiculous and it really shouldn't work, and yet like it's it's freaking keto. I don't know, man. When I go back to adventures, like I feel like it's gonna be like, welcome back, my old friend. Like, yeah, 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 you're welcome. Okay, I mean, like, my thing is like, I'm working near constantly, okay, and it's like it's really grating on me how I have to come back, after work and just like immediately fire up a stream and immediately like start producing videos and immediately start growing my channel so I'm stable enough to quit the job and like never look back. Like that's kind of like my mentality on it at this stage is that um like I want to like take more time with the channel to like make it better, to produce higher quality content, to talk about stuff, like Star Fox Command in depth, spend time editing, spend time learning editing, playing more games, like, specializing in my niche, like putting out books, that's what I want to do. But like it's just something that's like it's just not something that's like viable for me at the moment because of just how much like I have to like work. It's just like it needs to be a lot easier for it to be viable, I think. Like I need to make more money with like less effort and just kind of like coast a little bit. Because like the past couple of days have been like a nightmare because I've been doing so much and like I had so much to do. and like I just don't think I'll like be able to do it again. I do think I'm gonna have to like scale back on a lot of the things I was doing, like just because that like, well, I gotta work, bro. Gotta work. But yeah, it's I'm definitely like seeing some major improvements, right? Twitter's on the verge of being monetized. It has been for like forever, but like my impressions have been like stagnant for some reason. I have no idea what's going on with that. But like maybe I'm just not on Twitter enough. Like maybe not a lot has happened. It's just like I don't know. Like Twitter's so bizarre because like you put out all this content, you try to engage people, and then like just nothing happens. And then like, all of a sudden you get like one hot tweet out of nowhere, and then like you get like, a month's worth of impressions in like a day. Like I think I ended up getting like 1 million impressions over like a course of like a couple of days because I had like one like fire tweet that like took off. Like again, it's like it's just kind of frustrating, honestly. And like it just doesn't feel like it's worth the investment to like just sit there and just endlessly like scroll past like everything that's happening, calling out people by name and just like getting involved in all these weird like online debacles. I just don't really enjoy Twitter really, like at its core. Like I imagine for most people, you can just release a tweet and then just get like millions of impressions, and then like monetize that and just be like not quite there yet. I mean, like my YouTube's going up, like book sales are going up, like that's good, but it's like I don't know, man. I'm very tired of stressing out about like financial stuff and just like where I'm gonna be and like I just don't really want to do anything differently, honestly. Like I'm very happy with the way things are now when I'm at home, when I'm streaming, when I'm playing games, when I'm editing content. Like all of that is great. I need to wipe out all that other shit. Like it's just not productive, and it's not like getting me anywhere. Is like the long and short of it. Like um ugh. Let's see. We have anything else to talk about? Yeah, let's see. Analytics. Do we have any YouTube videos to respond to? Yeah, all my stats are way up. So I think what happened is that like I had a really good couple of days 3 months ago, and then all of a sudden, like they started aging out. So that's why my numbers have been going up. So my numbers have actually been going up. I've just been like losing the really good numbers 3 months ago. So that's why my analytics have been weird. Okay. Is there anything else going on? Let's see. I don't think so. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take a bit of a break after the podcast. Wii U nostalgia even real? Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that. That's actually gonna be a video topic. Let's see. We'll have to make a note of that. Shit, do I have no? Alexa, remind me to make a video about Wii U nostalgia.
Just a moment, please. When would you like to be reminded about
7
making that
p.m.
video?
7 p.m.
I'll remind you at 7 p.m. today.
All right, that should be good. We'll have to make a video for that. Because this is really interesting. Yeah, I guess we can talk about it now. Yeah, so we're officially at the point where Wii U nostalgia is in vogue, and people are pissed because you're getting a lot of YouTubers coming out and being doing this thing where they're like, "Well, actually, it was a miserable time to be a Nintendo fan," and like real fans like myself are going like, "Oh yeah, I loved." Kid Icarus Uprising. I love Fire Emblem Awakening. I love A Link Between Worlds. I loved Nintendo Land, New Super Mario Bros. U. I love the wonderful 101 Pikmin 3. Like that was the best period to ever be a Nintendo fan. We have never gotten as good of a run of like high quality like Nintendo shit than we did from like 2012 to like 2015. Okay. Yeah, maybe 2011. Yeah, I think I would put like Skyward Sword in there. Yeah, so from like 2011 to like 2017, I would say is like one of the best periods to be a Nintendo fan ever. And this is like the really interesting thing about it is how like people keep like trying to deny it. They do this thing like, no, like, but everyone was upset at them at the time. Like, yeah, because they were grifters and shills. Okay, actual fans were playing like Kino like day in and day out. Okay, like it's not my fault that you didn't buy Tokyo Mirage Sessions or Devil's Third. Like the Wii U era was phenomenal because it really was a really great blend between like modern visuals, technology, and like content coupled with like just the most innovative, unique Nintendo titles like ever. Okay, so something like the Wonderful 101 would never be produced today. Something like even Bayonetta 2 or Star Fox Zero wouldn't be made today. Okay, like Splatoon, like nothing like it has come out since. Like Splatoon is the last major Nintendo IP ever. And the way things are looking now, it might be the last major new IP they introduce before Miyamoto retires. Okay. Like Splatoon, like was introduced on Wii U and is now one of their most profitable franchises. Like the Wii U was a huge hit. And people just don't want to admit it because they want to do this thing where they're just like, well, actually, Mario Kart 8 didn't become the best selling game ever until it was ported to Switch. That's exactly my point. Is that like we can no longer judge a video game console based on like its performance or its metrics. Like if we're going to talk about video games, you're going to have to fucking talk about the video games because if a console bombs or a game bombs, well guess what you motherfucker? It's just going to get ported to the next one. Like again, like this is the reality. This is what happened with Tokyo Mirage Sessions is that it got re-released on Switch immediately and got a bit of a re-release. Got a bit of a second wind. Okay, like we saw this with like Mario Kart. We saw this with like a lot of other games. Like, and we're seeing it now with like the Nintendo Switch 2 editions of these Switch games. Right, it's becoming more and more common to see games like this like stay relevant even after like the generational shift. So the generational shift, it doesn't mean anything. Like this is actually something I've noticed like Nintendians say, and I actually agree with him on this. The idea that people had that the Switch One would become completely irrelevant like immediately after the Switch Two came out was always retarded. Like people had this idea that like Nintendo would just stop Switch 1 production, that they would focus exclusively on big new Switch 2 games, that they wouldn't keep supporting like the Switch 1, and like the exact opposite has happened, where like the biggest game that's released this year, Tamagotchi, is a Switch 1 exclusive. Like it's playable on Switch 2, but it is very much a Switch 1 game with no enhancements on the Switch 2 at all. And that's something that I think a lot of people like don't understand or don't care about or don't care to know or don't care to like the simple fact of the matter is like the Switch 1 and the Switch 2 are indeed coexisting. Like there was a rumor recently that like Nintendo's going to release the Switch 1 in India, which is probably going to kick it above the PS2 like sales wise. Hopefully significantly so. Like if Nintendo like outsells the PS2, that's it. Like Sony's never going to recover from that. That's been their saving grace for years. Is just pretending that like, oh, we have the highest selling console ever. Like, no, you don't. No, you fucking don't. Like, who are you trying to fool, bro? It's just it's just embarrassing. So like, what we're seeing now is the fact that like people are nostalgic for the Wii U, it goes to show you just how good the console actually was. Because when that thing was coming out, every single time they put out a new game for it, which was constantly. Whether it was like Tropical Freeze or 3D World or like Mario Kart or whatever, like you were always told by the masses that like, nah, that's not gonna save the Wii U, instead of like, acknowledging whether or not it was a good game. And that was their big mistake, because they weren't downplaying the actual games that came out in Wii U. So what we had was this really weird situation in which the Wii U was the lowest selling console that console gen, but it also had the highest selling exclusives. Like, people don't talk about this, but the Wii U specifically is when it became common knowledge that Nintendo exclusives were better than PlayStation and Xbox. Because up until that point, the narrative was that like Nintendo was lagging behind the competition, and after the Wii U, that just completely went out the window. Like, that was just no longer the case. Like, if you compare like the Wii U to like, something like Breath of the Wild to like any of the Assassin's Creed, like the difference is just staggering. Okay. Oh, that's another thing too, that like Breath of the Wild is a Wii U game. So, um, yeah. So Tears of the Kingdom is a Switch exclusive. Breath of the Wild is a Wii U title that was ported over to Switch day one. So again, Breath of the Wild, the greatest game of all time, is a Wii U game. So again, like this is like the reality of where we're at right now, and this is why like I have such an issue with people like obsessing over console generations. Like, it doesn't matter how much you liked the Dreamcast and how powerful it was and how it had like, online play before that was a thing. Like, they went out of business after that. It doesn't matter how much the PS2 sold, because they didn't build a lasting brand, and they burnt all their goodwill with the PS3 like immediately. Okay. It doesn't matter how much you hated the Wii U, because Nintendo was still like producing like high quality games, and were like making early steps to like enter the movie and theme park industry, right? All the stuff they're doing now with the movies and the theme parks, like that was all stuff that like got kickstarted under Iwata, right? Like, this is like Iwata's legacy, honestly, is like the almighty Wii U. Like, all hail the Wii U. And you can't even say it's like the worst selling piece of Nintendo hardware ever, because like we have the Virtual Boy. Actually, yeah, what's with this bitching about Wii U nostalgia when like the Virtual Boy nostalgia is way worse? Because I've seen so many people like unironically like come out and say that they love the Virtual Boy, and that like it's a super underrated platform, and I'm just like, I've played the Virtual Boy now, so like I can safely say that like, yeah, this thing is a piece of shit. The Virtual Boy fucking sucks. Like, I don't understand why you would like try and glaze like the fucking Virtual Boy. I just, but again, it's not about like talking about products that are like genuinely bad, that genuinely have no games. It's about like disregarding what Nintendo is doing now. And I think that's the issue with the Wii U, is that like the Wii U is not a current thing. And so you don't have people aggressively downplaying the Wii U now. You don't really have a lot of people like, downplay, like, who have a need to downplay it now. Like, honestly, I think the Star Fox thing is like really the only reason why people were still clowning on the Wii U, because like every gaming YouTuber gaslit the audience into thinking that like Star Fox Zero was like the worst thing to ever happen. Like, now that we're getting a new one, like all that's out the window, and like it's going to be very, very interesting to kind of see what like the future looks like, because I think now that we're not like that, now that we're getting like a new Star Fox game, once people start going back to Zero and actually playing it and actually comparing it to Assault, Adventures, and Command, like they'll realize very quickly that Command Zero is actually by far the best out of those four. Like, by far, I think it's a toss up whether or not like Zero is better than 64. I think it really depends on your preferences. Um, like I've gone back and forth a lot over the years. I think if Zero had a more cohesive like story and like an actual or a more robust like arcade mode, it would be a bit better. But like, I just feel I don't like the route changes and the goofy shit where you have to like look at a member of Star Wolf to like trigger like an event. It's like I don't like that. Like, it's just it's just not as cool as what 64 did. So like again, like Zero is just a masterpiece of a game that was just held back by like gaming journals pushing an agenda. So it's very likely that we might actually see people glazing zero to try and downplay the new one. Um, I don't think it's likely at this stage because I imagine the majority of people haven't actually played zero. Like the sheer amount of people who have been like claiming zero as a remake and have not been bringing it up at all when talking about the new one. Yeah, it'll be very very interesting to see like how all of that like falls off and how all of that like becomes irrelevant. I'll be very interested in seeing just on just what happens with that. Yeah, like we're getting to the point where it's getting like impossible to downplay Breath of the Wild because like if you've been around like college kids in the past like 5 years, like they'll tell you that like yeah, Breath of the Wild is my childhood game. Okay, that's becoming really common. Like I'm always seeing people say that now is that like yeah, Breath of the Wild that's my childhood man. Like that's the childhood game for people now, and I think people just don't understand that. Like Breath of the Wild is going to stay relevant for a long time. Like it's probably like where Star Fox 64 was back in the 90s or like yeah, it came out 20 years after 0, didn't 64, didn't it? Yeah, it's probably going to be the Nintendo game for a very very long time. So like yeah, like the attempts at downplaying like that in Tears have just been like embarrassing. Like you constantly see people like try and rail on Tears and it just doesn't stick and it doesn't really like amount to much. Like every single time it just feels like it just ends up like a giant nothing burger. It really does. It really really does feel as if like these guys are just desperate to like push this farce forward and like keep it relevant and like try to keep it competitive and like trying to do all this and it just isn't working. Like it just isn't working at all. I'm just like I'm very the way it looks right now is that like the industry is going to hyper focus on like specific Nintendo games, okay? They'll focus on stuff like Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, which they think will not move units and is like games for kids or whatever. They'll hyper focus on that and whatever else comes out. But like if it's not like a major release, they're not going to spend a whole lot of time like downplaying it. Like we kind of saw this with Mario Tennis Fever, where like they came out and they released statements saying the game had failed and that it was like underperforming and that it was a disaster and like they really didn't take into consideration the fact that like Tennis Aces came out like a full year after the Switch One, while like Fever came out like 8 months. So they were like more units sold, and like I think it had like a better release window, and like um it was the first Mario Tennis in a long time for a lot of people. Like Tennis Aces is the best-selling Mario Tennis game ever, actually. So like if you have to compare Fever to it to try and downplay it, I just don't think that's gonna work. That is not gonna work. So like it's just one of those things, honestly. Um, they're gonna keep throwing everything they have at like every single minor release, but like they're inevitably gonna have to move on to the next one and start slandering that, and eventually, as we've seen with Tears of the Kingdom and Mario Wonder, like they'll just gradually get a fan base over time. Because I was told for like years that Mario Wonder was a disaster and that like nobody cares about it. And here we are. Not only is Mario Wonder like well received and popular, we're also seeing people reevaluate like New Super Mario Bros. The entire like core cope about how all of these games are the same is falling apart now because people who've played all these games know that they're not the same at all. Like yeah, Tennis Aces has sold 5 million. Yep, it's still an evergreen. That's actually a good point. And like I've seen people like use this as like to weaponize against Nintendo that like, oh yeah, Mario Kart 8 is still selling, which proves World is a failure. Like, no, bitch. It proves that it's an evergreen title even after the next one comes out. Like you're gonna see people like pick up Fever and then go back and like get Tennis Aces at some point. You're gonna see like a lot of that in the future. Like I imagine to a certain extent, like pretty much every Nintendo game on Switch is like an evergreen title now. because they're always going to be on the eShop. They're always going to be
This is
readily
a reminder.
available.
Talk about the Dragon Ball editor interview.
Yeah, we have to get around to doing that.
This is a reminder. Talk about the Dragon Ball editor interview.
Yeah, it's if a game's on Switch, it's gonna stay on Switch. Is is something that like has become very very apparent over the past couple of years. I remember this was a cope when like Nintendo Classics was becoming a thing. Is that like the industry tried to tell you that like, oh yeah, they're gonna drip feed content, and then when the new console comes out, they're gonna drip feed content again, and you haven't really that hasn't been a thing. Okay, people don't realize this about Nintendo Classics, but once it's up there, like it stays up there for good. I think there's been like maybe one case of a game getting removed from there. Like I think Square Enix like made it happen, but I think generally speaking, Nintendo's like very specifically like paying licenses to like keep them up like as long as possible. So they should be up there like indefinitely. Like in another 20, 30 years, that's going to be the definitive place to like play all these retro games, which by the way makes emulation completely obsolete, which is something that like a lot of people don't understand is that as they release more and more of these classic games, it becomes easier and easier and easier to just like, you know, get them on Switch 1 or get them on Switch 2. It's just not going to work. All right, so yeah, we're kind of nearing the end of the show. I Yeah, I'm kind of worn out still. I think I'm going to take a bit of a break before I come back and like get to work on my edited content. I have a lot to do today. I'm so overwhelmed. I mean, I thank you all for the support of the 10D today. By the way, I've noticed that the video has had like a pretty positive reception. Lots of comments, lots of upvotes. Very happy with the reception to the first and 10 today. I'm working on the second. And we'll have to see if like he's made any videos since. But like I'm gonna be trying to do them like regularly going forward. But until then, yeah, I think I'm gonna see you all next time. But yeah, uh, what we're gonna see going forward. Yeah, I think the Pretendos are done. Honestly, like if Nintendine is the best they have, and if I'm refuting him at every turn, like there's not really much they can do. Yeah, the ROG Ally. Yeah, the the handheld PC thing is a cope. Like I've been saying this for years, but like what handheld gaming PC has like reached a fraction of the relevancy that the Switch has had? Okay, that's like saying that like Rumble or Odyssey is gonna like outperform YouTube. Like it's just not okay. Like those are just like smaller video platforms. They'll never like have like the capital or like the resources to draw on a large audience. Like basically they exist to be like the conservative like counterculture like platform as opposed to like YouTube, which is fine for its niche, but like it's never gonna be like where YouTube's at. But yeah, Nintendo saying that is like that's a problem. Okay, Nintendo saying that is it's if you have to hype up emulation to sell people on handheld gaming PCs, like you're doomed. Okay, like Nintendo's cracking down on that shit. It's not legal. The entire myth that like every Nintendo game ever is available like easily on it is wrong. I actually looked at like okay, so I actually looked at like Vim's Lair official announcement for Twilight Princess on PC, and like you know what, they told you you have to dump your own game. Ooh, ooh, that's rough. That's rough. So like the big bad PC version of Twilight Princess is straight up telling you to dump your own copy of the game because downloading it online or them providing it for you is like piracy. It's like that's rough, buddy. That's rough, buddy. Well, I'll buy it on the secondhand market and not give it to Nintendo. Like you're going to pay like how much is Twilight Princess these days? Twilight Princess GameCube has to be like a let's see. Twilight Princess GameCube per buy. Yeah, 200 fucking bucks. Oh, that's actually a really good deal. Look at this. Yeah, 250 on Etsy. That's a pretty valuable one. Wow. Yeah, GameCube games are like super valuable now. How much is Wind Waker? Yeah, 250. Holy fucking shit. It's that valuable? Yeah, I'm not getting rid of my copies. Man, it's crazy how much how valuable this shit is now. Oops, what the fuck is that? Yeah, it's crazy how valuable this stuff is now. I probably have like several $1,000s worth of stuff just in GameCube stuff. I mean, my copy of Sunshine doesn't work. I need to get a copy of Sunshine actually, since my copy has failed. Let's see. Yeah, Sunshine's not as bad. Okay, it's like 70. Yeah, I think it sold quite a lot more, so it's probably like not as uncommon. Used? Oh, I'm not sure if it was used. Yeah, that might it might have been packaged. Yeah, PlayStation games are worthless because they don't have like any real like collector's value or anything. Vim's Lair is garbage. I don't know what they are. Like, I don't know what they do exactly. I just saw them tweet about it. I noticed that like that they got like 500,000 impressions on that tweet, and that was like what Nintendine was like hyping up was that like, oh man, millions of people are gonna play Twilight Princess on PC. Like, no, bitch. Like, like you're probably not even gonna get half of that. You can't even get that many impressions. Honestly, it's just a giant circle jerk, really. Like it's people paying money to pirates to like get games for free. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, anyway, yeah, I have to take a break. I'm gonna have to like rest for a bit. I haven't eaten anything. I might order some food or whatever. We'll see. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you all next time. Thank you.